In this video, I will teach you exactly how to de-sexualize your brain, and also I will tell you exactly why you should do it. This is why you should listen to me, so just sit down, relax, grab a coffee or something, because this video is going to be a bit long. If you want, you can also take notes, because you will gain a bunch of knowledge when it comes to de-sexualizing your brain in this video. Let's begin. And then I will give you my exact system for willpower, and I will explain it to you. Your brain is sexualized, so this is the thing that I assume about you, the only thing, because you watch this video, right? Video about de-sexualizing your brain. You are sexualized, don't worry, bro. This is me 3-4 years ago. My brain was pretty fucking sexualized, and this is me today. I don't see women as an object anymore. I see them as human beings, basically. Bro, it's so cringe that I need to say it right now, that I see women as human beings, right? This is the worst thing about having a sexualized brain, is the objectifying of women. So why having a sexualized mind is bad? So the first thing is that you get a lot more distracted in work, when you study and all of that. I used to get distracted a lot 3-4 years ago when I studied. Plus, you waste a bunch of time beating your meat, because when you are sexualized, you want to beat your meat a lot more. I used to fap 1, 2, 3 times every day, and this is also one of the things that cause you to have a sexualized mind, along with one other thing. When it comes to the objectifying of women, it is bad because you don't see them as human beings anymore, and that's fucking weird. That makes you weird. So when you speak to women and you see them as objects, bro, it's so cringe to explain it, bro. I don't want to talk about crap, but you need to realize that by you watching porn, okay, watching this crap, you see women on porn as much as you see women in real life, and the women on the porn are fucking hoes. Their whole value is their bodies. So you just see women as a sex objects on porn, and then your brain that doesn't really see the difference between porn and reality start to think of all women or most women as a sex object, right? That's fucking weird. And that's also one of the things that cause you to fear approaching them and talking with them, because your brain is fucked because of corn and beating your meat to it. But more on that later. Your brain is fucked, and in this video I will teach you exactly how to fix it and get rid of this addiction that you might have. Even if you don't realize it, watching porn every 1, 2, 3 days, it's still an addiction. Because you do it regularly, and it is a bad habit. And when you do a bad habit regularly, so it is a habit of yours, it is an addiction, right? That's the same name. Bad habits and addictions are basically the same things. Why you got here in the first place? So the first principle, what is first principle? Let's start with it. First principles are the basic facts behind subject, basically. So the first principle of math is that 1 + 1 = 2. If this is not your basic assumption, if you think that 1 + 1 = 3, then your whole view about math is wrong. Because you will think that 1 times 4 is not 4, 2 times 4 is not 8. You will have it all wrong. You will think that 4 times 2 basically is 15. Don't know, bro. And when you don't realize that the first principle of human behavior is to get away from pain, one level above is to get towards pleasure. But away from pain is the most basic thing about human behavior. So this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? This is the most basic needs, and when you don't have them, you have the most amount of pain. So these are the most painful to not have needs, and these are the needs that don't give you a lot of pain. And here you see sex. So that's what got you here in the first place. So you run away from the pain of intimacy deprivation, of not having this thing with corn and beating your meat. So as you beat your meat towards corn, you become more sexualized. But if you will beat your meat towards things that are not corn, you will get a bit more sexualized, but not that much, because you will not screw your perception of women. So basically, corn is the thing that causes you to be so sexualized, right? So there are some people that are just fapping, they don't watch corn, right? Some people are like that. But the problem with it is that as you fap more, so you fap regularly, let's say every other day, then you fap, you go below baseline. That's how motivation basically works when it comes to getting pleasure. You get the dopamine spike, and then afterwards you go below baseline, and then another dopamine spike, and then let's say another dopamine spike. And when you get so much pleasure and you go so much below baseline, it's not just that your baseline goes down, basically. Your pleasure, the amount of pleasure that you get from fapping goes down, so like this, right? But here, it didn't go down because you started to feel a lot less pleasure and motivation to fap. You decided to get it up a notch. You increased the stimulation and you decided to watch porn. And now you got approximately the same amount of pleasure as you got beforehand, but then you got a little bit less pleasure, a little bit less. So that's basically why just fapping without watching porn is still bad, because it will trigger you in a day, in a month, in a year to watch porn again. And then because fapping started to be so promoted in the modern era by schools and YouTubers and this stuff, the NoFap movement has arisen, right? They are a group of people that tell you to stop eating your meat. They tell you that you will levitate at day 90 of not fapping, that your life will completely transform if you will start to fap. You will gain a bunch of intelligence and you will get jacked as fuck, right? They are wrong. Most of these benefits are basically bullshit. But the biggest problem with them is that by presenting you all of the benefits that you will get, they tell you with it to be obsessed over NoFap. And this is basically the worst way to stop fapping and to integrate into being a normal human being who is not sexualized, right? And that's the problem with being obsessed over NoFap. So this guy is not obsessed, but he takes the other path that I will present to you in a minute. And this guy is completely obsessed over NoFap. He spends time in forums, he uploads videos, he documents his journey to YouTube. His whole identity is one of a guy that is on NoFap. His whole identity is one of a guy who tries to stop touching pee-pee. Let's ignore the fact that it is weird to have your whole identity revolves around not touching your pee-pee. Do you think that this guy is successful on it? He really achieved like huge strikes of 90 days, 200 days, 300 days, like I managed to do? No. This guy is just a wanker. He doesn't fap every day for sure. He is in a way better place than the normal human being who fap every day. But this guy that is obsessed doesn't see himself as a guy who is free of fapping. And then when we will be presented with the opportunity to fap, when you will get triggered and you will be about to do it, he won't say no, probably most likely, right? Unless he will be able to resist it, not forever. He will say yes, because he just tries to stop fapping. He is obsessed over NoFap. And at some point, when you are on NoFap for so long, NoFap itself becomes a trigger after you take the first and second steps that I will present you. NoFap is the trigger to fap. Being on these forums and hearing all of these stories about the guys who had 90-day strike and then the relapse is a trigger. That's why being obsessed over NoFap doesn't work. One of the few things that the NoFap community have it right about is that you should be sick of fapping. You should not want to do it anymore. You should not want to watch porn anymore and feel so much shame and guilt, right? These are some of the negative effects about fapping. Shame, guilt, time wasted, and sexualization of your brain. You should be sick of it. You should not want to stay in this place. The reason why is because, so this is the normal human being who is not on NoFap, who doesn't even try to stop fapping, who doesn't think that it is bad for him. So this is brain threshold. This is his brain threshold. But what does it mean? That if you are below this level of pain, when it comes to change, you will change, right? But as long as you are above it, you won't really want to change, you won't do anything to change. So most people say that they want to get in shape for the New Year resolution. They are above this pain threshold. For them, getting in shape is not that important. And that's why they don't change, they don't get in shape. And for you to stop fapping, to succeed in it, to actually try to do it with all of your effort. It's funny because the way to stop fapping is not really to put a lot of effort and really think about it. It's the very different thing that you need to do. But for you to actually be willing enough to change, you will have to go below this pain threshold, right? And you go below it by feeling sick, by not wanting to stay like that, and by feeling pissed about yourself. Feeling so shameful and angry that you cannot stay like that. You need to feel pain from staying like that, because you are going to go to your baseline no matter who you are and what you do. And for you to actually increase your baseline from here, from a fapper, to a guy who doesn't fap, who has a life instead, you will have to feel sick of it. That's the most important thing that you need to do to quit porn. But you need to listen carefully, because I'm about to reveal to you exactly how to stop fapping the right way. So at first you will have to quit porn. So the basic premise behind quitting any addiction is to do it slowly, so your body will adapt, right? You need to start by completely removing porn from your life. You can still fap at first, but not watch porn. And you're going to progressively reduce the amount of time that you fap. So you won't go like this in terms of pleasure from fapping, you will go more like this. Not above baseline, but this should be the same, right? You need to go like this, so you will progressively fap less and less and less, now as time goes on, until you won't fap at all. And the way for you to do it is to integrate into a life that fapping is not part of. You need to develop a purpose, hobbies, and good habits. The 3 things that will guarantee that you won't go back to fapping are those 3 things. That's the other path, the path of having a life instead of being obsessed over NoFap. That's how I got today over 200 of NoFap. I started to read, to spend time in nature, to do fun stuff even, like talking with friends, but more healthy fun stuff, healthy hobbies, good habits like going to the gym, reading, learning, meditating. I developed a purpose with this YouTube channel. My purpose is to basically help educate people like you, to give you the knowledge that I needed back in the day when I was depressed and suicidal, so you will get out of this rut. That's basically my purpose. That's what I do with this channel. And you need to develop a purpose of your own. How you develop a purpose? You basically pick a goal, right? Goal. And you work towards it. This needs to be a worthwhile goal. And as you will work toward it, if you get fulfillment and happiness and enjoyment from it, it is your purpose. But if you just feel bored and you don't really feel like it all the time, so sometimes you will not want to work on your purpose. I don't want to work on it sometimes. But if the sum total of all of your desire is positive, it is your purpose, bro. At least your current layer of purpose. And develop good hobbies like spending time in nature, hiking, fun stuff in general, and habits like going to the gym, reading, learning, meditating. That's how we stop fapping. And then this is the most important thing. So listen very carefully right now, bro. Because if you will integrate but want to remove triggers, you will still fap and you will still stay obsessed over it. You will still watch porn. Okay, so all of these steps can be taken with watching porn, not just fapping. So triggers, what are they? They are those things that trigger your natural desire to beat your meat. Basically, simple terms. So you need to find them. They can be social media, your friends talking about this extremely attractive model. Seeing that model in a sexual way can be a trigger for you to fap. So if it is something that triggers your natural desire to fap, it is a trigger. So you need to find all of them and remove all of them, at least 99% of them. And if you will do it and you will have a life and hobbies and purpose and you will work towards these things and you will have fun, you will not fap anymore and you won't have desire to fap anymore because your life will be so much better than fapping. That's basically what you need to do. And the basic thing behind all of it is to feel sick of fapping, right? Because taking those steps is not easy. Developing a life and removing triggers is not easy. It requires a lot of willpower. Remember, I will tell you my exact system for willpower in a minute. But it's not easy. You need to want it badly enough that you will actually take action. So don't forget, bro, you need to feel sick of your current place. You also need to develop a strong enough reason why. So I've just realized that you need to take this practice, the practice of creating your why. So just pick up a piece of paper and write down all of the reasons why you are sick of your current position in terms of having a sexualized brain. And then after you will remove all of the triggers, you will get a life basically. You will encounter a casual trigger because you can't remove all of them. And when you will encounter it, when you will see it and will feel desire to fap, you will have to resist it. And after enough time of resistance, you will basically lose this desire. And this is my system for resisting desires, for willpower. So at the beginning, you will want to create a strong enough reason why you want to develop willpower when it comes to resisting urges. So create it, write the reasons why and all of that. And then the act of creating willpower, of improving your willpower, like discipline, like muscles in the gym, is to use them. And progressively use them more. There are two systems that I created to develop willpower. The manual and the automatic. So the difference between the two is that the automatic, you don't have any control about you developing discipline. You will develop discipline by using it, but not a lot. And you won't really control the amount of discipline that you will build. But in the manual, you will have a lot more control. But you will also need to set it up in place, the automatic one. So as you live your life, you will basically get urges to do bad things that you know that are bad for you. And by you resisting them, you will develop your willpower like a muscle. And as you will resist them more, you will develop more willpower, and that's basically the automatic way, and the manual one. So you need to find something that you want to indulge in, let's say junk food. You want to eat this piece of chocolate. You need to put this thing by itself, if it is a food, in your environment, and you will get urges to do it, to get it. So make sure that you start with putting something that you are not really that motivated to do, because you want to start small. And as you will start small and slowly get bigger, you will develop a lot of willpower. And then you will get urges and you will resist them like in the automatic way. But the thing that you can do here, it is in your control, is to make this trigger bigger. So pick something that you want to do more, like fapping. And you are going to resist those urges. And as you will resist them and you will get bigger and all of that, you will make a bunch of progress, a bunch more progress than the automatic way. And that's basically full NoFap guide plus willpower. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe so you will get more videos like this one. Bye bro.